Well, there's the box 5 days later. It is falling apart.
Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California in my new driveway garden that I'm working on. Today I wanted to talk about something that's been disturbing to me. So what I'm going to talk about is 5 items that maybe you should not grow in or think about before you grow in. I actually kept notes so I won't forget anything. I actually am going to start with the one that is the number one. I'm going to say the worst one. So let's start with the worst one and let's get into this right away. Cardboard boxes. You know, I almost cried when I saw people putting up on YouTube, free raised bed, get started, growing cardboard boxes. I couldn't believe my eyes. So many people going and looking at that and probably setting them up. Let me start off by saying I've done it, I've set it up, and on top of that I've done the research. Cardboard boxes are designed to last in storage. They've got formaldehyde in them, they've got sodium hydroxide and sodium sulfate in them, among other chemicals, so they can store them and they won't break down. It is a product by nature, yes, wood that will break down, but here's the problem. And it's got mineral oils in it too. As far as growing in them, I have done it, I have tried, I've experimented, and first of all, it's gonna break down. And when I see people saying you can grow potatoes in it and peas and all this stuff, I don't even know what to say about that because it's not going to last. Potatoes take months to grow and they expand. Think about what's gonna happen to your cardboard box, number one. Number two is if it's got these chemicals still in it and if they're fairly strong, then what's going to happen with that is it's going to stop the plant from growing. When I tried it, I could not get the plants to grow. And what you're going to be seeing is zucchini plants that I planted, true zucchini, in my front yard garden. I planted them in a cardboard box, and this is not the first time, but this is one I actually did video of. I planted the other ones in the totes, and the one in the cardboard box never grew. It just wouldn't grow. It was stunted. Eventually, within a month, less than that, the box totally deteriorated, totally was gone. And what the boxes do is they're a magnet for mold, black mold. We're not talking about anything good. In fact, it even says when you try to grow in cardboard boxes, it will discourage beneficial insects and worms. People use cardboard boxes to lay out to kill their weeds. Yes, the cardboard, just like wood chips, if you get, let's say, oleander, it will break down and all the bad chemicals and all the bad toxins will disappear. That is true. But if you're trying to grow in a cardboard box, you're going to end up with more heartache than good. Let's put it that way. Don't take my word for it. Just Google, are cardboard boxes toxic? You'll find it all there. Even Amazon, Walmart, all of them that have cardboard boxes, none of those companies are promoting you to grow in a cardboard box. In fact, they tell you, Amazon tells you to put clothes in it, donate it to the thrift stores, or fold it up. They tell you how to undo it and put it in the recycle bin. Because all this cardboard is made from recycled cardboards, and there's other materials a lot of times in it besides the wood. So I don't want to go too much into that one because I think I've given you, an idea of what is going on with it and why it bothers me so much. It's not so much as it may or may not work. Some people might be lucky and get something to grow out of it. If the formaldehyde and a lot of the chemicals have left, it may grow a quick crop, but it's not going to last long. What breaks my heart is somebody that has never grown anything that's going to set up a cardboard box and they're going to end up with no garden growing, and then they're going to turn around and think they failed. They didn't fail. They were failed by the person who told them to do it, but they did not fail. They just trusted somebody to tell them to grow in a cardboard box. So I'm going to say it doesn't matter if it's free. Use that to smother out and kill your weeds if you want, or put it in the recycle bin, do what you want with it, but I would not waste your time trying to grow in it when you can get a tote for $5, or you probably have totes, containers around that you can grow in. The other ones I'm going to quickly go into, and like I said, I wrote them out so I don't forget, is dresser drawers. I've done that Same problem, a lot of dressers, they're not made in the United States, can have toxic chemicals in the wood. There could be formaldehyde as well, or other toxins in there. You don't know what the company's going to use to preserve their wood. So I would say it's up to you if you want to try it. I've tried it. I've never had luck with it. I used to stop when I used to see them on the street and bring the drawers home. You won't find any drawers around here because they quickly fall apart. You may get one growing season out of it, but they deteriorate. It's not even that the microbes, the beneficial microbes come, they just deteriorate. So it's kind of a waste. And I worry about lead paint. You don't know what's on it. You can try it. I'm not going to say it's that bad, but I've done it and I wouldn't waste my time. Car or truck tires. There's another one. That is going to be your number 3 toxic rubber that they're using, plastic. It is all recycled plastic. It's got chemicals in it. As far as food, I personally would not use a tire to grow in. As far as food, if you want to grow flowers in it, you don't want to put them, let them go to the dump, then go ahead and put it off to the side and grow flowers in it. It is up to you, but I would not grow in a tire. It's just, I want to eat the food and know that it's somewhat safe. Your totes are made from the same plastic grade that are used in foods in hospitals. So they're usually a 1, a 2, a 4 or 5, and that your cottage cheese, yogurt containers, all your food containers are those numbers. So that's why I like totes. So that's, let's see, so tires are number 3. Number 4 is a tote. I am going to talk about totes. Clear totes, totes that are opaque, totes that you can see through. And that's basically any type of container that you can see through that's plastic. I'm not talking glass. Those will break down on you. Now, if you don't have any but those, it's not toxic. So you can grow in it. I have done it. I have used them for that. I generally now use them as a greenhouse. I put it on top when I'm starting new seedlings or young plants. But as far as growing in it, you can grow in it, but the problem is it's generally going to last under a year, and they don't just crack. That's the bad part. They literally, one day you go for them and you think, oh, I think it's breaking, and it just crumbles into pieces, and you're on your hands and knees in your garden trying to pick up all the shattered little pieces, and that's the way they break down. And that goes for milk containers. I've planted in milk containers, the clear ones, the gallon jugs, and the same thing happens to them. They shatter. But that's the only reason I would say don't bother, but you can do it. If you don't have anything, I want to encourage people to grow food. It's so important. Go ahead and use it, but be aware that if you see it's not flexible anymore and it's going to crack, maybe it's, that would be the time to start thinking about getting all the soil out of it and getting rid of it. And number 5 is clothing. That was a fad. I tried it too a few years ago. Everybody was stuffing jeans and stuff and trying to grow plants in it. I did. I grew some stuff in it, but the problem is it kind of rotted very quickly. So would I do it again? No, it was a waste of time. I would rather use maybe a grocery store bag if you want to do that. Some people have asked, can you use Walmart or bags or grocery store bags, the heavier ones? You can grow in them. It'd be like using a grow bag. Make sure it drains well, but they will fall apart, but they might last long enough to get some things grown in it. Smaller crops, like maybe you might be able to get a tomato to grow in it. Even those upside down planters that you hang up, the plastic ones, they don't last for more than a season. They literally, my sister gave me one, literally crumbles to pieces. That's just the way they are. So I would say on clothing, I wouldn't bother. And here's number 6, just as a bonus. Your potting soil bags that you get with your potting soil. You could actually poke holes in that, and you can grow in that. But again, it's going to break down. It's going to fall apart. So as long as you're okay with that, that would be fine. You might be able to get some things to grow in it, some Swiss chard and different things. But keep in mind it's going to fall apart. So basically that's it. I really wanted to talk about the cardboard boxes because it really disturbed me to see that and know that people were going to try that and then feel that they failed. I don't want anybody to feel when you're starting to grow that you failed. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to learn because something that works for me may or may not work for you. But the point is, cardboard, you're wasting your time. It's going to grow black mold. It discourages beneficial insects and worms and stuff. My plastic containers draw the worms come to it. Some people have said, or I've read, that you can get landscaping fabric. That's over $20. At that point, I think it's a total waste. And then the cardboard is still there, so you're still going to be dealing with black mold growing on the side. So please, if you want to start gardening, start with something that's fairly good, either in the ground or a plastic, tote container, because the containers you buy, especially Sterilite or Rubbermaid, they're all made in the United States. Pretty much all the totes, I have never found to date, not one tote bad, so with a bad number on it. So I'm going to have to say, I think they're all pretty good. You can even use some plastic trash cans. A lot of those here, if you turn them upside down, it will give you a number. And if they don't have a number 3, any other number is pretty good to grow in. So grow in something that's going to make you happy, that you're going to end up wanting to grow more and more. And I would just stay away from cardboard boxes. You don't need formaldehyde in your yard and all the other chemicals they put in it. And like Amazon says, throw a bunch of stuff in there that you want to donate and take it to the thrift store. That's where their boxes belong. Get a garden growing for you. You need it. Everybody needs to grow a garden. I think it's so important, so fun. Once you do it and you get it right, and you will get it right, you're going to love it. You'll be hooked, and you'll be wanting to grow bits and pieces of your own food for yourself, because it's always good, even if you're going and getting takeout, to add some fresh food from your garden with all the beneficial vitamins that are still in it, unlike some of the foods you get from the store. Have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.